Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Travel Mug Podcast. I am Megan, as always, joined by my better half in podcasting, Jen. How are you today, Jen?
I am good. How are you?
I'm excellent. It's sunny. All is well.
Yeah.
Today, we wanted to talk about really why we do this podcast and why we spend so much time talking about travel. The focus today is why we feel, and many other people feel, that travel is important and why, if possible, you should make it a priority. Now, we realize that traveling is a privilege, and I want to stress that not all travel has to be international jet setting. It can be local, it can be a day trip, a night or 2 away, but still close to home. Like, whatever it looks like for you, it is, and that can be an important part of your life too. So it's whatever travel might look like for you. So we wanted to talk today about the why. And so first up, I wanted to discuss sort of like the experience people can get from other cultures to become a better global citizen. Thought this was a really great place to start. And I feel that a lot of misunderstanding between people and culture and races and religions in the world often comes from a place of ignorance and assumptions. And what traveling can do for people is broaden their knowledge and first person experience of how other people live, where they're from, their food, their language, their customs and traditions. If you can have an open mind, and often people who travel do, this can help the world seem smaller in that we're all just global citizens on the same blue dot kind of thing. There are differences, but there are also a lot of similarities. And that can be the real light bulb moment to realize we aren't all that different. And one thing the world needs right now, especially, is understanding to approach the world and its people, from a place of community. Having a global mindset can really help influence others who may not have gone far. So, if you have someone in your life or in your community and they've not traveled, help them realize there's literally a whole world out there and it's beautiful, but also different and unique. And there's so much to be explored. I just think getting out there really can help expand your mindset.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a great place to start. So, studies have shown that travel can have a positive impact on mental health. And we actually did an entire episode about mental health with friend of the podcast, Jenny. But one of the reasons is literally like just taking a break from work and your other life commitments. And I know that sometimes like life can feel really monotonous and it's important to break that up. Travel can also help with work related burnout, and it can also help us process like grief, trauma, anxiety, like any other emotions that you're feeling. And I was really interested to learn there are actually several studies that link travel with less depression and stress. So there was a 2020 study published in the journal Nature who found that people who see changes in scenery day to day tend to be happier. So definitely a reason to get out there and switch it up. So obviously, travel is not a treatment for mental illness in and of itself. It can help support your overall mental health along with other things. And that's not to say that you won't experience, anxiety or depression while you're traveling, because you definitely can. But I know that I feel this personally. Not only do I feel happier and even more myself when I'm traveling, but just having something booked to look forward to.
It's
Um,
everything.
it is everything. Like, it sounds so silly, but people who get it, Like, having something booked, to look forward to is the best feeling.
It really is. I couldn't agree more. And I'm with you as well. Like, I definitely feel happier when I'm like out seeing new things, having something to look forward to. Personally, we haven't had a vacation at this point in 8 months, and we can really feel it, especially with a bit of like work burnout. Both love our jobs, but that doesn't mean you don't need a break from them.
For sure.
And that's sort of where we're at. So that's I think that's, almost just as important as the global citizen piece because it's great to feel happy.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, it is obvious that we do this podcast because we love travel, but what also helps is that when you are back home, you have the memories and you know what people say, those tend to last a lifetime. That's what people are saying.
Yeah.
And sadly, we aren't always traveling. I guess we wouldn't have so much to look forward to if we were. So, ways you can help preserve those memories are actually printing pictures, like quote unquote, the old days. So, tangible memories and even potentially making a wall collage with framed photos so that every time you walk in a room can give you a reason to smile. I know I have a friend who actually prints and still does photo albums and writes beside them when it was and what they did because she's like, well, what if we're old someday and we have Alzheimer's or dementia and we don't know what these photos were of? So it's even preserving for that far down the line as well. And obviously, if people have kids, those things could be great mementos to pass along. For us, Peter records a lot of video, and at first I didn't see the value in that, but now 20 years into this relationship, we literally have 20 years worth of life moments and travel memories, and we can watch those anytime. And honestly, between trips, it does help. Oh, what were we doing on this day 5 years ago? Sometimes it's a trip and it's great to look back on. And a lot of things that pop up, I don't remember. So I'm like, that would have totally been lost to time. And that's kind of sad. Another thing is actually posting online. So there are platforms that show memories each year from the previous years on that day as well. So you can be reminded of that if you use those platforms. No one, of course, wants to be too busy capturing moments digitally to miss them at the time. So it's really important to live it, but also preserve it. So finding that balance is key. But getting back home and having so much cool stuff to look back on really is a part of traveling.
Yeah, and it can be also it doesn't have to specifically be a photo you took. It can be the mug you bought or a piece of art that you bought. So that doesn't necessarily take you out of the moment. It's,
Exactly,
there's
exactly.
different
I love
color.
I love a fridge magnet. I think you do ornaments, is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, so when we're taking out the Christmas ornaments out of the box, at Christmas, you're kind of like, "Oh, remember when we bought this on this trip?" And labeling if it doesn't already have the year and the place, because some of them don't, labeling the box that they go in, what it is. Because I now am starting to be like, "Was this year?" When we've been places multiple times, like New York, like, "Which year was this?"
Right,
Label
right. That
them.
makes sense.
You think you're gonna remember things forever, then they go.
Turns out you don't. I mean,
Turns out, when you hit your mid-30s, you still not
hang on,
remember things
sister.
as well.
It does not get better.
Oh, no. So, like we mentioned, travel helps you escape from your life in a good way. So, like I said, a lot of us are in a job, in a life that is similar day to day. Like, I work from home. I'm usually in this room right here at this desk right here. And it does get like monotonous. So changing it up has huge benefits to your mental health, like we mentioned. But disconnecting and relaxing doesn't just magically happen while you're traveling, it needs to be a choice. So choose to put down your phone. Choose to turn off your work emails, put on that out of office notification, and choose to engage with your surroundings, which I know is easier said than done. And I'm not saying that you don't need a little bit of scrolling time in your hotel room because that is also self care. We need
Sure.
that too. But as someone who tries to do as much as possible while traveling, some relaxation time is important too. So do something that helps you relax. You could like book a spa day into your trip. If you're at a place that maybe has like a Nordic spa type experience, make it an experience, but also a relaxing one. Or you could literally just like read a book on your balcony, take some time to relax in a cafe or like sit in a local park so that you're still engaging with the place that you are, but also disconnecting and relaxing. And I know it can be hard to let go of the guilt of not quote unquote doing something, but you'll thank yourself later.
And how have you found for you that that's evolved? Like, what does that look like? Do you feel guilty now? Like, if you were to go on a trip and spend an afternoon, let's say, on a balcony reading a book while you're in a foreign country. How are you feeling about that now? Talk to us about that balance for you.
No. It's still challenging, and I don't do it for too long. But, our last couple of trips have been to Disney, and I have mentioned that it is easier for me to relax there now because I know, A, that I've been there before, and B, that I'm going back, so I don't feel like I'm missing out as much. But as for, like, those trips to Europe or somewhere that I might not get back to or I might not get back to for a long time, it is still a challenge, but I am trying. Oh,
And I think
I
that's all you can do is I think recognizing it is a big key and baby steps just like anything, honestly.
yeah, for sure.
Now, traveling can also be scary for a variety of reasons, but facing fears usually builds confidence. And that's exactly what traveling also does. So, oftentimes when you travel, it takes planning and organization and problem solving and thinking on your feet, plus adjusting to uncomfortable situations where you always aren't in control. Coming through times like that and working through problems in a potentially stressful situation, maybe when you don't even speak the local language, but somehow working through that really does build character and confidence. Not being in control of your surroundings, yet persevering, makes you more likely to be able to do this in our everyday lives as well, but also makes you feel more confident when you have future travel too. I know for me, I spent a month alone in France in 2004 after a pretty tumultuous time in my life. And I look back now, and I guess at that time I can't believe I did that, but it took just diving in, and I didn't speak I mean, I spoke sort of the language and I got better when I was there, but it really did build a lot of confidence going to the office I had to go to every single day on the tube, or sorry, on the subway, really understanding, my surroundings to keep myself safe as well, also trying to enjoy myself. I remember, leaving France after that month, and I was a bit of a different person, but, like, in a cool way. So I've actually lived to this, and it is the truth, and solo travel, I think almost probably above anything, will definitely do that for you.
Yeah, I haven't really done solo travel, but I also feel more confident after having traveled. I feel like I have the confidence in myself that I can figure it out, like, whatever it is. If it's usually some sort of transportation, you know? 'Cause, like, public transportation, when you've never been to the place before and you don't know exactly where you're going and you don't know exactly how it works, is challenging.
It is.
And I do have confidence in myself now to say, like, I can figure this out, whatever it is. And I mean, sometimes it's the confidence to ask for help, right?
Yeah. Knowing when
Yeah.
you don't know.
Yeah. For sure. So, travel can improve your relationship and not just with someone that you're in a romantic partnership with. It can be anyone, it could be family and friends as well. So, travel gives you an opportunity to spend some quality time with each other and to hopefully get to know each other, learn more about each other, even if it's somebody that you're already close with. I find that just that like proximity and like one-on-one time, or if it's a group, but you get to just talk more than you normally would in your everyday life. And it gives you an opportunity to make memories together as well. And it also gives you an opportunity to work together, maybe to figure out that crazy public transportation system. And that helps improve a relationship and bonding. You might have to order something in a different language. Like it's a lot to do together, and problem solving together is always great. So on the other hand, travel can also help you to meet new people. Whether you make a lifelong friend or just enjoy an afternoon together, it doesn't matter. You're still getting to meet a new person and you're going to learn something new from them. I've met people traveling that I'm still in touch with, and, like, otherwise, I obviously never would have met them except that we both went to this same place at the same time. And I also feel like travel can make you more comfortable chatting with strangers. So, one of the things I love about Disney is, you do spend time standing in line, And often people are really friendly and happy to kind of strike up a conversation to make the time go by faster. And this doesn't happen all the time, but I'll never forget on our last trip, we were sitting waiting for a show, and a professional Santa Claus sat next to me and talked to me about his life. And he gave me his Santa Claus business card, which I still have in my little memory box. And it was just really funny, and we were also standing in line for a ride one evening and chatting with a family from Alabama and, like, helping them learn more about Canada because they didn't know a lot, and so it was really just really great and goes back to the first thing you said about becoming a global citizen and learning more about other people, and then also teaching other people about your culture as well.
I couldn't agree more. And really, I find for some reason other people on vacation are the ones that are easiest to talk to. Like if I were go to a bar in Halifax, it's hard to strike up a conversation with locals. But I find if you go to a place where there are other people on vacation, people are looser. People are more willing to like, hey, where are you from? Let's have a moment. I know like shout out to Cottage Street Pub in Bar Harbor. We have met and not kept in touch with all of them. We've met probably 20 plus people that we've like sat and had like evening conversations with. And another place, and like you said, sometimes just an afternoon together. Shout out to Brittany, who's a longtime listener of the show. Met her and her husband who are from Toronto and Punta Cana. We had a great afternoon just hanging out at the pool. They've come to Halifax since. We've met them for supper. Again, never would have known any of these people. And sometimes you're right. It's just like a brief encounter. Other times you keep in touch. But either way, it is about meeting people from other places. And you're exactly right. Goes back to point number one.
Yeah.
Now, I did mention problem solving earlier when we chatted about confidence, but what kind of problems might you face? So, honestly, not to scare anyone or myself, but there aren't really too many problems to mention that you could encounter. But a few examples could be having to take out money from a foreign bank, flight delays, lost luggage, car rental issues. Jen, you would know about that. Um, Harassment, hotel issues, tour problems, getting lost, language issues, issues ordering from menus that you don't know what the food is. Sure. And that's literally just to name a few. So when you're out in the world, anything can happen and safety is paramount. But besides remaining vigilant, of course, about personal safety, the problems that could arise may test you and stress you out a little bit, but you will come out of the other side of those with increased problem solving skills, plus information and solutions if that problem were to arise again. Oh, this happened here already once, even if it's a different country. This is what we did. Maybe we could do that this time. It could teach you that if the restaurant you want to go to is in another language in the menu, but if it has pictures like it had pictures in that other restaurant, you know you can handle it. So those kinds of things really can help you problem solve at the time, but also help you in the future as well.
Yeah. I think it literally just helps your brain to solve problems.
It does.
It's just good for you all out. So, as we've said many times before, and in our previous episode, we love food and we love experiencing new foods while we're traveling. It's such a joy. So, food is so embedded in culture, it really helps you learn about a place and its history. And as a former picky eater child, it can be difficult to push myself out of my food comfort zone sometimes, even though I love food. But I do at least attempt to try something new when I'm on a trip. I also love trying new things and then attempting to recreate them at home. I think it's a really fun way to remember your trip and kind of get through that period of time when you're not traveling. So, taste and smell are also related to memories. Like, do you remember having something delicious while you were traveling? We often talk about certain meals or foods, whether they were good or bad. Sometimes, sometimes it doesn't always work out, and that's okay. But, like, I think about, like, the best coffee I had was in Iceland, and I still feel like I remember the smell and the taste of the bread that they make at the Fortress of Louisburg in Cape Breton, which isn't that far away. I could drive up and go get that. And the, Nepalese restaurant we ate at in Edinburgh and the time we ate at a chef's table at the now sadly closed DBGB Kitchen and Bar in New York City. I'm very sad that place was closed. It was delicious. So I know like food isn't everyone's thing, but I feel like you should try at least one new thing while you're traveling.
Yeah, I agree as well. I have a friend who also does the same as you. She tries something in a different country and comes home, finds a recipe on the internet or tries to recreate it. And I really do agree. It can take you back in your own home to those memories that we were talking about as well, plus delicious food. And
Yeah.
I like trying new things as well. And I don't mind eating basics too, like if that's what's there and available, but I at least on a, trip try to try something local that maybe wouldn't be a standard here in Canada, and I think it just makes it really fun.
Yeah, it does.
So as everyone probably knows, and if you don't, Jen and I are Canadians. And we come from a very, technically young country when you think of the world as a whole. We still have a rich and sometimes devastating history, as many countries do. But as you move through the world to places that date back to the beginning of mankind, it is quite incredible. Whether you're visiting a museum to see artifacts and paintings, or you're in Egypt to see the pyramids, or Greece to see ancient ruins, understanding the depth of history can bring a true understanding too of humans and culture, and can make you feel very small, but also in a good way. Again, it's bringing sort of the world closer. Understanding humankind from a historical standpoint of view, and all of the suffering and triumphs and tribulations, some which will honestly continue to this day, unfortunately, but it brings a renewed appreciation and respect and knowledge for the world around us. So while it links back to like being a global citizen, looking at it through the lens of history, and I know, Jen, you love museums as well, and we've had, an amazing museum guest on in the past, and it is something I find when you go places, it's really cool to learn the history of that place.
Yeah, it is. I think that's one of the most important things for me when I'm visiting a place is to learn something, at least about the history. I'm obviously not going to become an expert in one trip somewhere, but just to take that knowledge with you. So, all of these things, like experiencing other cultures, trying new foods, using your problem solving skills, encourage self development. It changes your perspective, it improves your empathy, it helps you use your imagination, and so many more things. And I think that anyone who loves travel would agree that travel changes us in the best way for the most part. And finally, I just wanted to reiterate that like we said in the beginning, it doesn't have to be international travel. It doesn't have to be a giant 2-week trip or 3-month trip or whatever. It can literally be being a tourist in your own neighborhood. Like, do you know the history of the city that you live in or the neighborhood that you live in? Try new foods. There's probably restaurants that you haven't tried. Do something that you wouldn't normally do. So, that's all we have for this week. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And if you love travel, you probably know already all of these things, but it's fun to chat about them anyway. So you can find us on our website, travelmugpodcast.com. We're also on social media at Travel Mug Podcast. You can support the show through Buy Me a Coffee or by leaving a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, or by sharing the show with a travel loving pal, and we'll chat with you again soon. Bye.
Hi.